I'll let me know when we're setting up. I'll let you know when we're actually live. But when I get up, cause I'm taking it. I think we are. I'm just waiting for the notification that says we're actually live. Okay, we are live. You ready?
Alrighty. Yes, I'm ready.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are well. This is PJ Robinson with Naturally Community, and it's time for our Hour of Power. We're excited. As you see, we changed up the music a little bit today, and we're going to go ahead and start with, a brief meditation to just kind of center ourselves. We're in a little bit of a Whitney Houston mood today, taking it step by step. So go ahead and get comfortable in your seat and start to, just let the song just kind of minister, resonate with you. And we just know that we are going to take every day, every minute, every hour, just step by step, bit by bit. We are a great, wonderful people, and we can accomplish anything that we set our minds to. I'm just excited to see all of those great things that all of us will do. And mile by mile, and bear with us real quick. So we hope that this song, Whitney Houston, step by step, just gives you some encouragement, gives you some joy, some peace. If you feel like dancing, go ahead and dance. But again, we are wonderful, creative people. We aren't going to stay down. We find our joy, we find our smile, we find our laughter, knowing that we're capable of everything that we set our minds to, and we will. So, again, welcome to the Community Hour of Power. We're excited. I'm going to start fading out the song. Although I try not to fade out Whitney Houston, I just don't know how we can kind of just pause her voice. But it's great. It's great, and we're excited. So I hope that this blessed you. I hope that it's encouraged you. I hope it's inspired you to continue to grow, heal, anything that you need to do. I just hope that this gave you a little bit of encouragement. All right. Thank you. And so today for our Community Hour of Power, I am excited. I am very excited. We have with us Sandra, Loraine Coleman of SLC's Sacred Gemz. I am going to let her introduce herself and her jewelry because I don't give it justice. We're excited talking about this Black-owned business. And as you can see, I'm a little bit more dressed up today. That's because I'm wearing her jewelry. I'm sporting her jewelry today. Well, every week, but especially today. So we're excited. And go ahead, Sandra.
Okay, so as Professor Cutie said, that's what I call her. I'm the only one allowed to call her Professor Cutie, so don't even try.
Yes,
but,
absolutely.
But I'm a jewelry designer, so everything I make is one of a kind. It's handmade. I use wire and natural gemstones, and I'm fanatic about using beads and items that come from the earth. That's very important to me, or that is created by artisans. So I use a lot of crobo beads. I use a lot of beads from Africa, Ghana specifically. I use silver copper and brass. Copper is my favorite because copper also has healing properties. And copper was also used in ancient times by Native Americans and also Africans. So there's a lot of historical and cultural essence to what I do. It's not random. I don't believe it's random, even though when I get an idea, it may seem random, but I feel like it's guided by God and our ancestors. And that right there informs what I do. I want my jewelry to be not just beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, but also have meaning, have historical reference, have cultural reference, have be conversation pieces. Like some of the beads that I buy actually have backstories. So that's information that I can pass along to my clients. And I don't like to call people that purchase Silk Sacred Gems customers, they're clients. This is a relationship. I'm building a relationship with you. You're building a relationship with me. And hopefully the relationship will last and continue. And then these are pieces that you'll be able to leave to your children. So this is not random. It's not something that I decided to do on a whim. Well, actually, I'll take that back. When I first started making jewelry, I was making it because I worked part-time and I didn't want to work a full-time job and take time away from my daughter who was in elementary school. I wanted to be there for dinner, help with homework. And I also wanted to be able to go to her school for conferences or she plays sports, basketball. So I wanted to be available for basketball. And if I worked a full-time job, it would just be really hard to be able to do all the things with her that I felt I needed to do. But I needed to bring in enough money to sustain us. So I had to find something to do that was honest, that would bring in extra money. And so I started with little seed beads with bracelets and anklets. And from anklets and bracelets, it blossomed into the wire work, the wire wrapping, like what you see on my neck and in my ears. Spirals have been showing up a lot in my work lately. So I researched spirals and what they mean. And spirals are a spiritual symbol that signifies continuation. It represents energy because energy has a starting point and then spirals out. So, and also spiral represents new beginnings. So I was like, okay, that's why spirals are showing up in my work. Something's going on spiritually, and whatever it is that I'm going through spiritually is manifesting in my work. But not only that, when people see the spirals, they're like, oh my God, how do I order? How can I get one? What do I need to, can you show me how to do it? I really don't like to show people how to do it because I don't use the proper techniques. Like, because I never took a class. And so for me to show you how to do it, I will be showing you how to do it the wrong way, like carpal tunnel wrong way. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that to people. But if you really want me to show you, I will. But I prefer not to because I don't want you to be mad at me because your wrist hurt, right? So, and it's not that I don't want to teach people. It's just that I've never taken a class. So for me to stand in front of you, in front of people and say, this is how you do it, and I'm not doing it the correct way, I think that would be irresponsible of me if I did that.
So I've heard you talk about your jewelry a lot and how you say that, it's inspired and to celebrate and honor the ancestors and we
Yes.
ourselves. And so it almost seems like a lot of times you're guided in the way that you're actually making the jewelry. Does it feel like that?
It does. It feels like, because when I get an idea, I'm like, and I'm always asking myself, how am I going to have more ideas? Where are they going to come from? I'm like, because when I look at all the stuff that I've done, I'm like, there's no way I could possibly come up with more ways to do. But it always happens. And I always feel like that's not me. That is actually the connection that I am allowing to use me to come up with these works, these pieces. And most people that look at my jewelry consider them works of art, wearable art. And that's what I call it. I call it wearable art because it's not like stuff you can go to Walmart and buy. It's not like, it's very artistic because I'm a creative person, always have been. And so for me, making the jewelry is therapeutic. It's also cultural, historical. It's how I pay respect and honor our ancestors who gave so many sacrifices, for us to even be able to do the things that we do. So it's how I honor them by using my creativity as the vehicle to reach the community. This is how I can reach people all over the world, African American people, African people, whoever, because my thing is, and when I look at who I'm making these items for, I have a specific demographic that I'm targeting. And those people that I'm targeting look like me, look like people in my family. Not that other people can't buy it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I make it specifically with the natural weed community in mind. When I sit down to make something, I'm specific about who I'm making it for because I know that connection is specific to me and who I'm supposed to reach is specific. Now, somebody else benefits from it because we all know how that goes. That's fine. But I'm specifically making it for women, men, people that look like me and my family.
That's great, and it's great to walk in the confidence and reassurance of knowing that you are making it for we and being proud of that. And I've watched your jewelry, your Sacred Gems business grow over the past over 10 years now. And
right. Yeah, you got 10 years worth of
I do. Yeah. I'm not concerned. I was like, wait a minute, no, it's been over 10 years that I not only have known you, but have also had the privilege of purchasing your jewelry. And good evening. I see your question. I will ask your question in 1 second. But also I've not only that and being proud of it, but I've also seen the work that you have put in. And when I tell you the work that she has put in, just to give a quick example, the necklace that I'm actually wearing today, I actually sent Sandra a picture of an outfit that I wanted to wear. And I said, Sandra, here's the outfit that I'm wearing, and you know my personality, so have fun. And
yeah.
This is what she came up with, and it's actually one of my favorite pieces from her, and so it's great. So if you can just talk a little bit about that, and then you have a question that says, where can we look at your jewelry? Where can people look at your jewelry and possibly buy your jewelry?
Okay, so I have a website. So my website is slcsaredgemz.com. They can go on my okay, so they can go on my website. So when someone, they maybe don't know what they have in mind, like say for instance you'll send me your outfit and tell me, okay, this is what I'm wearing. And so what I'll do is I'll either send you pictures of stuff that I already have that I know will go with your outfit and your personality, because we've been doing this for a while. So you can send me an outfit and you can tell me, you know, what you're looking for. And usually when I send you photos, I'm pretty spot on. Every once in a while, you won't respond. And I'm like, okay, she don't like this. So I'll send you more pictures. And eventually, you know, it'll be like on point. So I do have a couple of people that will tell me what they're going to wear, what kind of event they're going to, what they need. You know, I need something for my mom. She's, you know, this age, she goes to church, she likes this, she does that. You know, they'll give me some information. I'll go, okay, I'm mentally going through my inventory. This will be perfect. Or maybe I'll just send Nubiana. This is Nubiana back here. She's the earring queen. She holds all the earrings and she travels very well. So I'll send, you know, take pictures of Nubiana and then have them pick something. They'll circle it, you know, send it back. The artwork, people have been purchasing the artwork. Like, I only have 2 left. Now, this is the first one I did. So this one is not for sale. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Can you bring it over a little bit?
Yeah, this is Afiana. So, and yeah, you can see all the stuff in the background. It's hard to get pictures of these when they're in the shadow box. They come secured in the shadow box. So I do all of that to make sure that you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do when you purchase this is put it on your wall. So this is the first one I did though, but she's not for sale. And so I do have a gentleman, and I wanted to talk about Father's Day coming up too. I do have items for men. So I want the fellas not to feel left out. If they want something on their wall, then they can also get some too. I just bought a bunch of shadow boxes, so I'll be making a lot of artwork since I only have 2 left. Yeah, it's been busy, it's been crazy, but it's been very rewarding because I can make jewelry all day long. I can make wall art all day long. But if you guys aren't purchasing it and putting it in your homes and putting it on your bodies, then it really doesn't mean anything, right? So you've seen me grow because I'm always trying to solve a problem or figure out, you know, how I can make this better. You know, what can I do? And like the ancestors are, every time I have a question about, you know, my creativity and upping the level, here come the ancestors. Oh, you want to go there, start making art, you know. And I debuted these January the 2nd, 2020. You know, I said, and it took me like at the end of 2019, maybe like 3 weeks, like the whole process. I have to work the whole thing out in my head first before I can even sit down and start to create. So once I worked these wall art pieces out in my head, I was like, okay, now I can sit down. I sat down January 1st and started Afiana, the first one I did, and January the 2nd, she was finished. So yeah, it felt right. It felt good. It felt like, okay, now you can have silk sacred gems in your house. You don't just have to, because some people don't wear jewelry. Okay, you don't wear jewelry, and that's fine because I don't really wear necklaces. I just like big earrings. But now since I make it, I'm like decking myself out with rings and bracelets and earrings and, you know, like everything, and hoping that people will appreciate it enough to actually want to purchase it. So yeah.
So one of the things that I've seen as you've grown is how accommodating you are to those who are interested, especially your loyal clients. I know, like, my ears are pierced, but you know, some people don't have pierced ears. Or some people like earrings, but they're not necessarily going to maybe wear one of these earrings that may be a little bit heavier.
Right.
So you also have jewelry that is, I guess, sort of customizable to your clientele. How did that start? How did that happen?
Okay, so it happened because I was trying to solve a problem. And actually, I went to visit a friend of mine who was on the mend, and she said, asked me, could I bring some wire? Because she wanted me to make her earpiece, but to go like across like her face. So I took some wire over to our house and I was playing around with the wire and I made like several of them and we tried them on, took pictures on Facebook. And so she said, if you started making these, what would you call them? And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, since I'm with my EI and it's like she's whispering in my ear with the little cowrie shell right here, I said, I'll call them EI's ear whispers. She was like, oh, okay. So after I left, so she inspired it. So that's why they're called EI's ear whispers, but she just wanted one. When I when I got home, I said, this would actually work. This could hold up earrings, right? And I have a lot of heavy earrings because I like big earrings. I said, maybe I can make this more functional. So I sat down and I start playing around. Next thing you know, people start asking me about, I start posting them. I'm like, hey, you can wear these. These can hold up your earrings. Then I had another thought. I said, well, some people don't have pierced ears, but they like the long earring look. So I made them with the beads dangling down. So all you have to do is put it on and then kind of squeeze it to fit your ear. And then no earring required. Or you can just wear it by itself and it's decoration. Like you don't even have to, it's just decoration. So these became more of functional, stylish jewelry versus just, and like I said, decoration. So now we're solving a problem. It's not just jewelry that people are wearing, it's actually solving a problem.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing. And so now, we know we're in, shelter in place, quarantine, lockdown. What has been some changes, progress, challenges in your business as a Black woman, small business in the midst of this, and how have you adjusted?
So I decided about a year ago that I was going to be all in with my business. I was going to stop tiptoeing in my own business. I was going to be all in. That meant I was going to go hard. So website, so now that's an expense. Website. I was even doing pop-up jewelry shops at my house, like maybe once every other month or, whenever I felt like, okay, it's time to do another one. So I was doing those. Now that has changed since the quarantine. No more pop-up shops. All my events were canceled, canceled or postponed indefinitely. And I had some nice, because you had me booked for two of them, right? At least two. Yeah, they like, no, not penciled in, inked in, right? And I had even, my fees. I was like, I got my fee now. I can pay,
Yeah,
So
yeah. And we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Man, they're paying my fees and everything. So I'm like, okay, I have the money to pay the fees. Let me go ahead and pay. And then I even had some other stuff scheduled, like fundraiser that I did really well at last year. Now I was going to do it this year. And some other stuff that I had, in the works. And so I had like 2 or 3 events every month. Man, and then, the pandemic on my birthday, March the 12th. When stuff started, shutting, I'm like, so, and my plan was to go visit my dad, who is buried in Riverside National Cemetery. That I wanted to take him some flowers and go spend a day with him on my birthday, but all this stuff started, and I was like, yeah, maybe I just better, just wait. And so my sister and I, we haven't been able to go yet because, everything. And we don't want to, take the chance to go way out there. And I don't even know if it's open or closed. It may be open or whatever. But like right now, it's just not a good time for those types of things. Um, But the one thing that changed was social media. So people are at home now, and people are, looking for that different, like people that didn't have time to look before are now finding these interesting Black owned small businesses. I belong to some groups on Facebook, specifically Black women crafting groups. And so I started posting on those websites, and those women were like, hey, we see you. How can we be down, right? I'm like, look, here's my information. And so I've gotten quite a few consistent, orders, like basically I'm going to the post office almost every day. Even if it's just a pair of ear whispers or a ring, and then I'm also offering a 20% discount on purchases right now, SBTY20, which is small business thank you, a 20% off small business thank you, because I get it. I understand. And because I'm a small business, and I'm doing this by myself, like I don't have anybody marketing. I don't have an assistant. I don't have a secretary. I don't have, inventory person. It's all me. I'm doing everything. So I have to be realistic. Like 24 hours a day, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing tomorrow? What's going on? How can we, be present and let people know, hey, I'm here, without being pushy, because I hate pushy people, but just trying to engage with the customer. And then customer service, like you got to be on top of everything. And I've gotten quite a few compliments on my customer service, which makes me feel really good, because I want you, when you purchase from me, I want you to know and understand that I appreciate you taking money out of your budget to shop with me. I appreciate that.
So we have a couple comments in for those who are following live. Okay. One, Pastor Jacqueline Osborne said, thank you for meeting a need. And
she is so welcome.
We love her.
Yes, we do. Man,
and this real quick, because she also speaks to the customizing that you do. Not sorry, Mom, I love you. But mom, my mom's ears are not pierced, but she loves your jewelry, and so that I especially appreciate the time that you take in making making jewelry that she can wear as well. The earrings, I don't know the terminology, so I'm gonna let you speak on that. Right. But then the next one you have is, do you have jewelry that is the shape of the continent? Someone that has been looking for earrings like that.
Okay, so what I do is I haven't learned how to quite make the continent in the wire yet, but I do buy charms, and I will add them to like bracelets and earrings. There's a couple of pairs on my website that people can go look at. I don't think I have any with the continent up here. I think, and I wish I would have brought it out. But so what I would do is this would be the continent. Instead of this little piece right here, I would put the charm on there. So I would make a bracelet or something like that, or like the earrings, maybe I would put the continent on the end of it. So I haven't learned how to do it with the wire yet. I've tried. I'm still working on mastering that, and I have not yet.
Okay, thank you. So we hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please continue to type in the chat box, and we will address it. So you and I were talking yesterday,
Yes.
And you said that you had a surprise for me.
Yes.
So I am waiting to hear about this.
Okay, so
and how it connects to whatever the surprise is, and how it connects to your business. So go ahead.
Okay, so I quit smoking. So that's I knew you would be happy. So I quit smoking, and I found that money stays in my account because I'm not smoking. So part of the money I'm using, because it was like $250 a month that I spent on cigarettes. And I never did the numbers before because I don't think I wanted to know them. But I was visiting with my uncle, and he did the numbers for me. He was gracious enough. So when he did the numbers, I was like, man, that's a lot of money. So what I'm supposed to do is take $125 a month, half of that money, and save it. The other half I can spend on whatever I want to spend it on. So I decided that some of that money should go into my business. So buying supplies like the silver. So I was using artistic silver wire. So I'm not going to use that anymore because I have to treat it. I'm going to use sterling silver, which is more expensive. But now that I'm not smoking, I can now use sterling silver for my clients who like silver. My favorite is copper, and it's okay that my favorite is copper, but for people that like silver, now I can actually purchase real silver. It's going to cost more. You know, the pieces I make with it is going to cost more, but they can be confident that it's actually sterling silver. So that's what I'm planning to do. Invest that money into myself instead of investing it into something that was harmful to me, harmful to the environment. And I've already started saving. So I have 2 Roth IRAs. One is a savings and one is a CD. And I've already started putting that money towards my retirement.
That's great. So congratulations on your accomplishment. I'm very excited for you. I'm proud of you. I know some of the back and forth that you went with that. So Thank you for this wonderful surprise, but not only that, but for yourself on an individual level, your lung health, and then how that translates into your business. I just believe and proclaim that this personal sacrifice that you took is going to return to you 100-fold, and your business will truly be blessed. It's great that we get to see the jewelry. It's great that we get to purchase it in the shadow boxes. You have a couple people in the comments who are like, but we want to learn more about the shadow boxes. So I'm going to let you speak about that in a minute.
Okay.
But to be it as a business owner and the discipline that it takes to keep the business going, but then in those first however many years, and then beyond that, the personal finances that goes into sustaining the business and but then having to think about how is this profitable and how is this going to help me in the long run, especially if you're relying on another job. So I commend you for one, taking another step and maintaining your health and quitting smoking and the mental toughness and tenacity that comes with that, but also being able to continue to work your business and navigate your business even in the midst of quarantine. And as you said, people are already buying in the midst of this, and so we're excited that it's going to continue. but I'm going to pause there. You have people interested in your shadow box. I know you showed your first one. If you can show the brother and
yes,
talk to
I
people
will.
about the shadow boxes a little bit more.
I'm going to bring it forward. And then I'll talk about this a little bit more. Okay, so this is the brother. And you have to forgive me because I don't remember his name right now. But all of these pieces are intentional. And all of the names of the pieces are African. So I actually sit, and sometimes it takes hours because I have to find the right name to convey the sentiment that I want to convey with these pieces. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his name means warrior, and it's a Swahili name. So when you purchase one of these pieces, the meaning or the sentiment that comes into your home when you hang it on your wall is very important, because we are about positive energy, positive thought, and promoting that with whatever we do. So when I make one of these pieces, like the men have all cowrie shells in their hair, and then their necklace, like he has bone, and these are jasper. And so these are masculine colors, because I need for the brothers to know that it's okay for them to be Black men, right? And so this is made in their image. It's made to look like them. The hair on these will never be straight. It will always be wavy. You know, it's a representation of who we are. And so they come in shadow boxes because the hair needs to be accommodated. So it's this is 10 gauge copper wire, the head shape. This is 18 gauge copper wire, the hair and the ears. And then, I pick beads, because this is jasper. So I pick beads that represent like earth tones, warmth, healing. So I try to pick beads that represent that. And
he looks like a warrior.
Yeah. Like I said, they're intentional. When I do them, I sit down, I'm like, okay, how does he look? What do I want him to look like? Or I might, since I'm doing them now, I might just start. I'll just start and I'll get like the basic together. And then I'm like, okay, I know if it's a man, just cowrie shells in the hair, but then the necklace, okay, what is that going to look like? And when somebody takes it into their home, what sentiment or message are we trying to send? And it has to be positive, and it's intentional. So I go through like a bunch of Swahili names. Like sometimes I sit there for hours and I'm like, and sometimes I'll go, oh, that's a pretty cool name, and I'll go over it. And then I'll go to another site, and then that same name will be there again. I'm like, okay, that's the name, because it keeps coming. It keeps coming up. So then I'll pick that, as the name. So, but yeah, all of them have sold except for 2. And I sold my biggest piece, which was a $750 piece. I just mailed that off Monday.
Wow. Yeah. So what's the price range of your shadow boxes typically?
So typically they start at $300. He's $350. And then they start at, it depends, like she's $250, but she's not for sale. So that size would be $250. And then there's a 16 by 31 shadow box, which her name was Nomalanga. Nomalanga was, she was the goddess of the sun. So bright, cheery, illuminating, that was her aura. So that's what's coming into your home, like sun, sunshine, goddess, bright, brilliant. Those were words, cheerful. Those were words that were associated with Nomalanga. And
she was beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I remember her. She was beautiful.
Man, and it took 3 days to do her. 3 days. But when I finished, man, So I bought another one. I bought another 16 by 31 shadow box. What I would like to do is I want to do an Afro puff. I want to, I want, I want to do an Afro puff. Yeah, I'm working on that. So, and sometimes I'll sit down, like No Malanga was supposed to be an Afro puff, but when I started doing it, it manifested into something else. So she became No Malanga because her hair, if you notice how her hair was, it was like the sun, right? Yeah.
That's great. And being able to have, the complementary of the man shadow, you have the men shadow boxes and the women shadow boxes. And that just also speaks to who you are in terms of community oriented and celebrating we. You don't discriminate in terms of, no, we don't have anything for the men. I remember a couple of years ago, you posted on Facebook and you're like, don't worry about this. I got you, especially those who like the LA Rams. Like you are intentional in making sure that all of we is represented. And I think that that's so important, especially now when in how you express and contribute to progressing and empowering our people in a way where we can feel good and we can love ourselves and we can step out and have these pieces that continue to enhance the beauty of men, the beauty of women, and going from there. And so we appreciate what you do as LCLC Sacred Gems and going from there. So I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, so you're going to look at me, but I love you. Okay. So if you can, and I know you can, so go ahead and do. Imagine Sacred Gems after COVID, after shelter in place is over, but not only that, but imagine Sacred Gems in a moment where people of African descent on a global basis are completely and totally, holistically liberated and free. What does Sacred Gems look like in that moment?
Sacred Gems would look like a reflection of whatever the community is, totally liberated and totally free to be whatever it needs to be for them in that moment. So we always talk about the natural, natural hair, natural, no, not makeup, not if you want to, whatever, but you don't need it. So being free and comfortable enough to wear your big, piece of jewelry, because I like big beads, I like big stuff, being able to rock that wherever you want to rock that to. It could be a corporate, situation, or it could be, I don't know, whatever, wherever you feel. It would be a reflection of whatever the community is, and that freedom would be reflected in the work that I produce for the community. Because I've had people say, they'll purchase something like big earrings. Oh, I can only wear these on the weekend. I can't wear these to work, or they'll say, do you have something smaller? Because I want to wear it to work. So it would be a reflection of them being comfortable enough to, if they wanted to wear some big giant African looking earrings, they could, or wrap around leg bracelet, because I make those too, whatever, the arm cuffs, it would look like that. It would look like, okay, I could have one of these in my office, right? I could have that in my office. So that's what it would look like. It would be a reflection of whatever the community is in that moment after quarantine, totally liberated and totally free. They would be able to rock silk Sacred Gems any way they desire.
That's great. I think that is wonderful and inspiring. And I hope it inspires us as a community to also begin to walk in that even now.
Right.
As we begin to, in California, at least, there's the phase 1 and the phase 2 and different things, and people are starting to go outside just to be outside. And sometimes
Right.
I natural we hope that as we re-emerge outside, that we begin to walk in a confidence of being ourselves authentically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and that includes, if I want to, wear this necklace piece, I'm going to wear it because it reflects who I am and it's me. If I want to wear my Ankh earrings on this day, I'm going to, and it's me. And as much as we understand time and place, we as a people also understand that sometimes it's not really about time and place, but it's about power relationships and oppressive natures attempting to continue to oppress and repress and dictate how we envision and see ourselves. And so, Sandra, I see your jewelry as part of resisting, not only resisting, but actively engaging in jewelry and cultural awareness that is unapologetic in being who we are. And so I hope and pray that it continues to grow and it continues to develop. I know that you have, mailed packages out front to San Diego, to Georgia. Where else have you shipped some of your jewelry?
New York, North Carolina, Louisiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Indiana. It's so many places now. Like I'm waiting for somebody international to order something.
It's gonna happen.
I'm just.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm so grateful and so thankful that people are seeing my work and feeling my work. I think even if people didn't buy it, I would still make it because for me, it's therapy. And it's, again, also a way to pay homage to, my ancestors, to being creative, because, we've always been creative people, artistic people. That's a part of who we are. So it's a way for me to celebrate, who we are. And it's also a way for me to give back, when people want to purchase something, want to wear it, this is how I can be a part of, a part of the community by my work and using my work to, like do events and help people become aware about, the different metals, the different beads, like crowel beads. I don't call them sand casts. I don't call them recycled glass beads because if I do that, then it doesn't give the respect to the artists, the people who made it. They're crowel artisans. They make these beads in the Crowel Mountains in Ghana, West Africa. So if I call them anything other than crowel beads, then I'm disrespecting the whole process of how these beads are made. So I always refer to them as crowel beads and pay respect to the people who made them. So, and I'm a firm believer in that.
That's great. That's great. We have a few more minutes. Is there anything else that you want to say, just kind of wrapping up regarding your business? Anything at all, natural weave, anything you want to say?
Well, first of all, I'd like to encourage people. Just because you're at home, just because you're quarantined, doesn't mean you have to be bored. There is no reason, if you are an African American, that you should be sitting at home being bored. Our ancestors were quarantined by enslavement. So we should not be complaining. We should be trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this work for me? How can I make this work for my family? How can I make this work for my children? Your hobby or something that you love to do, you can turn that into a money-making opportunity or a sanity-keeping opportunity. You do not have to be bored. So I don't want to hear that from nobody, no people of color. Second, I know there are things going on outside of our community. Ahmad Arbery. We have to be able to function. I don't believe that mothers should have to bury their children. That was our child. So we need to understand that too. We need to become engaged with these kinds of situations so they don't keep happening. So what is it we need to do as a community to be able to function better, to exhibit solidarity with each other, and to not let these type of things happen again? We need to protect our young men. We need to protect our young women. So we need to figure out how to do that. Use this quarantine time to do that. If, make it productive. And then teach your children how to be self-sufficient. My daughter has her own business because her mom, I'm not the corporate America type. So what kind of example do I need to set for my daughter? I've always had a side hustle, but it was always an honest side hustle that my daughter could, be proud to say, my mom makes jewelry and she posts my stuff and takes pictures, and, she's done events with you with natural weed. So yeah, so she's, very engaged in the business, the community, and, being active and creative in her own respect. So we need to teach our children that, to be self-sufficient and not depend on the corporate structure, because the corporate structure is anti-African. We know that it's anti-African. Just because we can function in it doesn't mean we have to make that our sole function. We can function outside of that and also build the community while doing it.
Right, that's great. And, we are dedicated to upholding ourselves and each other. We are dedicated to what are we doing for not only our children, but, 5 greats down the line.
Right.
How are we contributing to making this world a better place and continuing to empower and heal our people in a manner to where we're not just reacting to circumstances, but
Right.
we are being active in preventing any of those things from happening again.
Right.
We don't go into this thinking that it's a lost cause. We go
Right.
into this knowing that spiritually it's already done, and physically it will manifest to the complete healing and liberation, empowerment, progress, celebration of our people and who we are, and we walk in that. And naturally, we cannot wait until we can have in-person events again.
Right.
Sandra taking Gemz is a staple at our events.
Yes.
So you will see her there. In the meantime, her website is in the comments. She's also been tagged in a couple of Natural Weeds posts, so you can go get to her page from the tagging that has happened. We thank you for being our guest. We thank you for coming on. It's been great. Today was the first day that I really sat down and realized, it's been over 10 years that not only have we known each other and purchasing your jewelry, and of course you have your nickname for me that I always hold near and dear. So I'm excited. Thank you for, that's one of the first names when I became a professor. It was you, and I appreciate you. And I say that publicly especially in, we've been walking on campus before and everybody's been like, why are you calling her a professor? Like, you're way older than her. So I appreciate.
But you earned that. You earned that. You earned that,
Thank
professor, that title. You earned it.
Thank you. But I appreciate you being an example. And as much as you have emailed me and asked, for help with research and things like that, I've always been able to call on you whenever. And I say that as an example of what we can do when we support one another, mm-hmm. what we can do when we say and hold on to a commitment of supporting Black businesses and not saying, oh, all Black businesses have horrible customer service, because not all of them do. And if there's ones that do, we encourage them to come up to another level and things. As much as we've experienced horrible business outside of our community and we continue to give chances, we must continue to give ourselves and our people not only just chances, but being a priority. So we celebrate that and we honor that. And so we're wrapping up our community hour. Again, thank you so much, Sandra. Next week, we will have in our natural community hour of power, Precious Mitchell. We are excited to have Precious Mitchell. Next week is actually dedicated to launching our Natural community has partnered with Precious Mitchell and Willingness to Serve to start a community feeding drive. So starting in June, 2 Saturdays out of the month, we will actually be feeding the community. So next week is dedicated to talking about how that came to be, the vision behind it, where we will be feeding people, things like that. So we look forward to it. And once again, Natural, we say that we are more than well. We as a people are more than well. I encourage everyone to just continue to find sayings and affirmations to speak over yourself, ourselves. We are a people who is more than well. So thank you once again and take care.
You're welcome. Bye, Professor Cutie.
Bye. I love you.
I love you too.